There's been some very, very insane drama going on in the CS2 community recently. And I know I'm not usually like a drama channel or anything like that by any means, but in a crazy way, this has started to tie into the CS2 investing community a little bit. And people have honestly found some ways to make some money off of all this insanity. It's very crazy, but because of that, I've talked myself into, maybe mistakenly or whatever, I guess we're going to find out, talking about the Maniac situation in this video today, and again, ultimately a little bit about how this relates to CS2 investing and some stickers and stuff like that, which is just weird. But yeah, this whole thing is crazy. I am Germ, a CS2 cash trader, investor, skin collector, all that good stuff. But apparently today I'm going to try to be the Keemstar of the CS2 community, for better or for worse. But before we get into that, just real quick, wanted to mention, if you are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, you should definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We're buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price, whether it's, guns, gloves, patches, stickers, agents, capsules, cases, whatever. If you have a reasonable price and are looking to sell some stuff, we can probably get a deal done. And of course, by selling to me, you're helping support me, my channel, my content. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. And this all started, I don't know, like a week or so ago with Arco Digital. A lot of this stuff is deleted now, so it's hard to say exactly what everything said, but ultimately he posted something about how his wife, was kind of fooling around with a bunch of different guys, or was like kind of getting around the CS2 scene. They were having some marriage issues. They were fighting a lot, whatever. They were probably going to break up. They're probably going to divorce. And, she had talked to a bunch of pro players and casters, and then ultimately she's with Maniac, and he's saying, hey, Maniac, the least you can do is talk to me and do what's right for our kids and our family and blah, 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 blah. Just some real crazy marriage drama type stuff. Who fucking knows? I don't know. To me, it's weird to be posting this stuff on like your CS2 account, but I don't really know what was going on. It was very crazy. It was very weird. Again, I wish I still could see the actual original tweets, but it's been deleted. Whatever. Obviously accusing her of some stuff, and a lot of people came out and had a lot of nasty things to say about her and about Maniac and calling him a home wrecker and calling her, cheating, whatever, and blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, this led to her, releasing some of their previous texts. And, she does deny the allegations of having an affair. I can't pull up this full tweet because this has also been deleted since then. But for whatever reason, I can pull up some of these pictures and stuff still. And obviously, she posts some old screenshots and old text conversations between them where he says some very weird and very bad stuff. There you can see what he says in this text conversation. And, he says some very other toxic, controlling, very, very bad things. He also, self-reports himself in this thing. He's like, oh yeah, back then, he's saying, these screenshots were old and he's a different person. He doesn't act like that anymore. He doesn't talk like that anymore. He's not a racist. He's not this or that. But he's also like, oh yeah, I used to be anti-Semitic too. Like, this whole thread just gets absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Part of it is like he kind of had to be there. But yeah, like I said, a lot of this has now been deleted. A lot of this is lost to history. But hey, lucky for you guys, I'm always on Twitter. I'm chronically online. I'm always on Twitter on my phone or on the desktop or whatever. I'm very deep tied into the CS2 community. I see stuff a million different ways. I see people talk about stuff on Reddit, on Discord, on Twitter, whatever. I saw a lot of this happening in real time, and it was very, very, very insane. So, at the beginning, there was a lot of people who were against Arco's ex-wife, but then she comes out and, obviously makes him look very, very bad, and he's making himself look very, very bad. So then the tide kind of shifts, and a lot of people are now obviously against Arco, and rightfully so. He said some very, very terrible things, maybe is way worse of a person than a lot of people thought, and maybe they're both very weird. Maybe they're both gross people doing some weird, gross stuff, but ultimately at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? It's their, relationship. I don't really care. I'm not really that interested in all this stuff. Yeah, I'm like a drama whore a little bit, but this is just kind of sad to see and look at and watch ultimately, and you just feel bad for like their kids and their family and all that stuff. Also, she's saying, he said all these terrible things a couple of years ago, but they only recently got divorced, so like she stayed with somebody who like talked like this and said awful, terrible things. So like I don't even think it's as great of a slam dunk as she thinks it is, because hey, that also was your husband who he said that stuff in 2022 or whatever, and obviously you stayed by his side and supported him and all that stuff. It's like I don't know. I don't really think either one of them are coming out very good looking from this situation. But obviously, again, people were still throwing a lot of shade at Maniac at this point, saying, hey, you're a home wrecker, whatever, you're an idiot, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know, whatever. People were saying a lot of bad stuff about Maniac. This ultimately led to, crazily enough, like I said, this all started out with Arco tweeting about his ex-wife and their kind of relationship drama, and eventually this gets us to some very, very out of nowhere some other very different accusations against Maniac, where this person tweets out, trigger warning for sexual assault. This summer, I was sexually assaulted by CS2 broadcast talent ex-pro Maniac CSGO. I was repeatedly groped, grabbed, and inappropriately touched over 3 hours, where I felt unable to raise the issue and afraid to leave other women at his mercy. And, she kind of puts out her statement about what happened with Maniac and what he did. Again, the allegations, whatever. We also get some other allegations. Dust2 tweets out further allegations against Maniac show a pattern of inappropriate behavior. Obviously, this stuff is very, very serious. And again, this is Arco looking really bad from this whole situation. His wife, looking really bad from the situation. Now, obviously, Maniac, the third person caught up in this whole situation, looking very, very, very bad. Just a whole absolute shitstorm of CS2 drama. In one instance, this is, alleged the analyst messaged one woman who said she was 17 at the time. The messages, which the woman provided to Dust2, showed asking in June if she was excited to turn 18 soon. The day after the conclusion of the ESL Pro League in Malta, in which apparently Maniac worked, he messaged that woman again after she had turned 18. She did not respond. 5 hours later, he followed with an apology for being horny, which is just absolutely insane. This is crazy. Maniac then responded to these allegations by saying, hey, I've just been made aware of the allegations and my blood froze in my veins. I have a drastically different recollection of the events depicted that night. I believe he's talking about the first allegations in this one. I'm not sure whether it truly matters. I arrived at said after party at 0:30 a.m. My Uber receipt will prove it, so I do not know how anything could have started at 11 p.m. I wasn't on the dance floor before 45 a.m. either. We flirted for a while under the understanding that this was mutual. We were out in the open in the middle of a small group of people dancing. Now this person had every right in the world to change her mind through those interactions. If I missed the cues that the promiscuity wasn't accepted anymore, this is completely on me and outright unacceptable. Even if I do accept this version of the event as a truth, this person has the right to have experienced them. As such, I won't fight back on that and take these matters extremely seriously, and I always have. I cannot conceive the idea that I put someone through any sort of discomfort, unease, or torment. That isn't who I am. I feel like the title of this post is misleading. I do not believe any sexual assault took place. I believe inappropriate behavior is the only place this should start and end. For the sake of the broadcast, I will remove myself from EPL. I refuse to distract the audience from the Counter-Strike, and it's in everyone's best interest for me to take a step back. Then in more deleted tweets, again, C'est La Vie came out and, was kind of defending Maniac, being like, yeah, we have these receipts. He was here at this time, blah, 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 blah. This doesn't even make sense, pretty much speaking out against the allegations of Maniac, which, whatever, is not great, especially, like a woman saying that, somebody's making false allegations or whatever. But it's also, if her and Maniac are together or dating or whatever, maybe it's just defending your boyfriend. I don't know. But like I said, that stuff has also since been deleted. Here are some of it. Blast Premier tweet out, we are aware of social media post regarding a complaint of misconduct against a Blast Premier talent member. C'est La Vie saying it's only ever serious enough to convince Twitter police and ruin the man's career, which, whatever. But PGL, Blast, ESL have removed Maniac from analyst desk following these allegations. Maniac then, after his first statement, ended up deleting both his X account and his Instagram. I thought this was just a funny meme. He says, why do all women hate me with the Maniac meme there. Then Maniac actually returned to Twitter to drop a second statement. He said, I sent this to the news outlets this morning for deleting my internet presence. The path to redemption seems endless today. I was afraid to mention my childhood. My first post wasn't the final draft. I just wanted to post a final text. I have been forced to peer into the abyss and face my worst demons in the last few days. I've had a problematic relationship with alcohol for most of my adult life. I've attempted in many ways to get it under control, but I have failed miserably at various points. I'm ashamed of my weakness and have been for years. Now I cannot turn a blind eye to it anymore. Alcohol reveals my self-doubt, my need for promiscuity, to be seen, to be wanted, because a part of me is broken and feels unworthy. I was broken during my childhood, and I wish to one day have the strength to address it with courage. This led to unacceptable behaviors over the years, for which I am truly sorry. Sorry doesn't even begin to cover it. Social medias have allowed me to cowardly desensitize human interactions as if nothing really happened. This was an escape. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I always tried to give people the respect and the agency they deserve. I look to fill a void in a pathetic and destructive manner. I will take time to reassess my life, who I am, who I want to be. I've let people down that I deeply care about. I've let this community down, and I've let myself down. So again, he goes from denying some of these allegations, or even saying that, hey, some of this stuff happened, but it's not completely true, to then just days later changing his tune entirely. At one point he's like, hey, I have these Uber receipts and this is bullshit and there was no sexual assault, and then now he's just straight up kind of apologizing for everything. I don't know exactly what he's admitting to and not admitting to, or saying did happen or didn't happen, but he has a completely different tone here. And again, this was after his girlfriend, or whoever C'est La Vie is to him, also kind of defending him and being like, oh yeah, they're just trying to ruin a man's career, blah blah blah. So this whole situation was so insane, so ridiculous. It still is so insane, and it's still still so ridiculous. But again, I feel obviously terrible for the victims of whatever Maniac has done or whatever ends up being true. And I also feel terrible, obviously, for, just their family, C'est La Vie and Arco's, kids and everything getting caught up in the middle of all this. And hopefully, there is peace and a happy ending for a lot of the people involved in these situations. Maniac messaging a minor and then blaming on alcohol and a shitty childhood. You're sick in the head, mate. On today's episode of Tweets Didn't Age Well, here's an old C'est La Vie tweet. Just curious, though, he was able to give his own deposition on the specific allegations, or did you judge and jury the whole thing based off their submitted complaints? Because methinks not. Which, again, is her obviously coming out and defending Maniac, which has certainly not aged well. This is a horrendous statement. It's a slap in the face to your victims and those of us who had horrific childhoods and PTSD, dealing with unspeakable pain and suffering that never turned to sexual assaulting others and never will. The thought of it sickens me to my core. How the fuck is it in any way an excuse or explanation for what you did? Only a couple days after downplaying the victim's statements regarding your vile behavior, your selfish actions may have caused lifelong trauma for these women, and your statement reads like a sympathy plea, which is true. You're saying, oh, I had such a bad childhood, blah, 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 and the community's coming out and saying, hey, bro, we don't fucking care. Nothing like I didn't do anything she's lying to. I had a bad childhood and I'm an alcoholic 2 days later. My fan, now C'est La Vie, comes out with a new tweet. This is like one of the few tweets that's still there and hasn't been deleted. My family and the people that need me most deserve my attention far from social media right now, so I'm going to be present for them. I firmly believe in a person's desire for redemption, and I'll continue to support the people in my life through their individual journeys. And, some people came out and were like, oh, so you support, your boyfriend or whatever Maniac is to you, but you didn't support the victims when they came out and tried to tell their story. So, like I said, Arco definitely not coming out of this situation looking good. Her definitely not coming out of the situation looking good. And obviously Maniac not coming out of the situation looking good as well. But just really crazy that all three of them got tangled up in one situation, which ultimately led to all these other things coming out. And maybe these things would have come out anyway. I don't really know, but it does seem like, kind of like a pebble that turned into a boulder or whatever. I don't even know if that's a saying. But Ryan at Dust2 did tweet out, don't forget that the Global Offensive moderators decided to keep deleting all posts from the women coming forward with their initial accusations while only leaving up Maniac's statement, which is obviously crazy. But how this does ultimately tie into the CS2 investing world is something just absolutely ridiculous that makes no sense to me, except in one way. Maniac CS2 stickers have exploded in price following people crafting on the AK Predators with it. So Maniac does have a sticker from Cologne 2015 with Titan, which is actually kind of decent looking sticker. His signature is like okay, but obviously Titan stuff and stuff from 2015 that's going on 10 years old now is pretty cool. And they've always been like okay investments. The graphs, the all-time graphs on these items actually don't look bad. Overall it has a pretty nice upward trend. But the fact that now that these like allegations and drama are coming out, that the price of them has been exploding, like, is really ridiculous and so dumb and doesn't make sense to me at all, except that there is a skin called the AK-47 Predator, obviously, and there are, people have tweeted out posts from like the Float database and stuff like that a lot of AK-47 Maniac Predator crafts have actually been coming out. Now, I'm sure there are some people just buying up some of these stickers and actually trying to profit off this whole drama, which, is probably ultimately unethical at the end of the day, but some people are just going to chase the bag and chase the money no matter what. If you do happen to have a Maniac sticker, I guess sell it, and it's up, like, I don't even know. Like, we can look at, these sticker prices and stuff, but we'll look at that in a second. But a couple more things. This guy said, what I'm left wondering about the Maniac drama, if he was brazen enough to do this in the view of his colleagues, how many of his peers saw his actions, knew about his behavior, and did nothing, said nothing? Definitely a very good question. No one should buy your apology as genuine when it took you getting caught in a web of lies, to be honest. You opened up by playing the false allegations game, essentially calling victims a liar, to now pulling a 180 once you realize you ran out of options. Fuck that noise. The sticker, the regular Maniac, the paper from Cologne 2015 is up 229% in the last month. It's up 300% in the last 5 days. And the Maniac foil from Cologne 2015 is up 123% in the past 5 days. Again, following these things. If you are using these to craft a Maniac Predator skin, I guess I can support that. I guess I can understand that. I guess I can get behind it. But if you're just like buying this sticker up for some reason, to me, that is very, very weird and very strange. And I know that's what some people on Twitter said too. They're like, why is this going up? Like, sexual assault allegations equals stonks or like equals profit? I don't really know. But yeah, the fact that all of this happened was insane, crazy, stupid, weird, whatever. But then the fact that coming out of all of this is this sticker exploding in price and going up 300, 400%. Also very, very crazy, weird, dumb. I don't know. The CS2 community will never cease to amaze me. I don't know. So this is my attempt at making a video on this whole subject. Hopefully you guys, I don't know, enjoyed isn't the right word, but learned something or whatever, are now more aware of the situation and this whole story. It was absolutely insane. Like I said, a lot of it has actually been deleted off of Twitter and everything. So maybe this video can be used as a way to hopefully, I don't know, encapsulate this whole situation. If it's even worth that in history, I don't know. But pretty much for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.